Hello, everyone. I am Lily Mae, creator of BlackMenSucceed.com. I'm excited about this platform because the purpose of it is to introduce to you dynamic Black men around the globe so that they can inspire the next generation of Black men and that we can just contribute to the narrative that Black men are successful, intelligent, family oriented, amazing individuals. So I have another guest today that I'm going to bring to you, and his name is Morris. Morris, if you would just introduce yourself and just tell everyone a little bit about, who you are and what you do.
All right, so initially I am Morris Smith. I'm a barber, real estate agent, and entrepreneur, also a real estate investor. And so, yeah, that's what pretty much what I do. I own a barber shop here in Atlanta, in Grant Park.
Fantastic. And I know you created a program called Beyond the Clippers. So can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, so Beyond the Clippers pretty much is a brand that I created to pretty much separate myself from the barber. I've been a barber for a long time. I also been a real estate agent for a long time, but a lot of people didn't know me for real estate at all. So I had to separate myself. And I separated myself and I created Beyond the Clippers. And Beyond the Clippers is pretty much real estate investing from behind the chair.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I've been able to create a lot of extra streams of income through real estate investing. And pretty much just want to show other people how to do it and, how to move forward with real estate.
Oh, fantastic. Because I know
Yeah.
that most barbers are entrepreneurial minded, because it's an independent craft. So tell me, for the person that may not have a lot of money or their credit might not be A1, can they get into real estate investing, or what are the beginning steps to get into it?
So I tell people who don't have the money or don't have the credit. I tell people you can also sniff out deals for investors. You can bring them deals, and they can pay you a finder's fee to find the deal. So that's one way you can make $1,000, $500. Just finding deals for other investors.
Oh, wow. Now,
Yeah.
tell me about your first property, your first investment property. Like, what were the steps that you went through to, make that happen?
Oh man, so I'm a tightwad. My family called me tight, but I save money. I don't spend a lot, so it was kind of easy for me to actually use my money to go and purchase my first investment property. But my first actual home turned into my investment property. I purchased my first house at like 23, and when I moved to Atlanta in 2011, I rented that house out, and that house started pretty much making passive income for me. And as the money grew, I ended up going out and buying just more properties.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, very young. So did you have a mentor or someone that kind of guided you along, or, because that's pretty young to get started with getting your own
Yeah,
home?
it was a big risk. I actually when I was cutting hair in college, there was a lady that used to come into the shop all the time, and she was always enticing me or trying to persuade me to get my real estate license. And I didn't grow up around real estate, had no idea about it, and so I eventually she was adamant every time she came to the shop. And so I eventually took her up on her offer when I got my real estate license after I graduated from college. And once I got my real estate license, I practiced real estate for a while. And that's when I bought my house, probably 6 months after I got my real estate license.
Wow.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was just, it was timing, and everything just kind of fell in line. I opened up my shop, and then after I opened my shop up, I got my real estate license, and everything just started flowing.
Wow. Wow. I'm sure that somewhere in your journey, whether it was when you were, a barber or when you transitioned into real estate, I'm sure you had some challenges along the way. So can you maybe speak to like maybe one of your big challenges with doing real estate or even with having a barbershop that you may have had and how you overcame that challenge?
Oh man, so I tell people like I had fear. I was afraid. I opened up my shop at 22, so I was scared then. I paced up and down the sidewalk. It was a building I used to see all the time when I was in college, and I used to tell myself, I said, if that building is available, I'm gonna get it once I finish school. And guess what? It was available, and I uh, picked up the phone. I called the number on the sign, and the lady said, "Well, you got to make 3 times the rent. College kid, I ain't got no money." So I made 2 phone calls. I called my mom, and that didn't work. I called my oldest sister, and my oldest sister was like, I said, I see this building. I think I can make it a shop, and she was like, let's do it. And yeah, and so from there, I opened up the shop. I was still afraid, still scared. Um, Opened the shop, and I put my foot to the ground. I cut from sun up to sundown.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, that was one of my biggest challenges. And from there, I just been out taking risks, still, entrepreneur. I tell people I haven't worked a job since I was 19. So yeah, so I've been out here for a minute, doing what I do.
Yeah, I think I always tell entrepreneurs you have to feel the fear and just do it anyway. And then
Absolutely.
you have to not be afraid of failure because that's a part of entrepreneurship. I've been an entrepreneur for over 10 years myself full time. And so like I tell people, they're like, wow, you're always doing some big things, but you don't see the things that I fail at. You don't see the projects that I put out there and nobody responds to. So you have to feel the fear and do it anyway, and then not be afraid to fail, because even if you do fail at something, or even if your first barbershop didn't work out, you would have learned some lessons to move forward, with your next business venture or your next barbershop. So I always encourage entrepreneurs to just don't be afraid of risk, because that's a part of the journey. Don't be
Yeah.
afraid to fail.
Absolutely, and it's easier said than done. It's easy to say, all right, you got to take risks, you got to work hard. That's easier said than done, but it's gonna take some action. It's gonna take, really, because even with my first investment property, I had the money to invest, but I was still afraid. Even if you have the most time, people do have the money, and they're still afraid to jump out on it because they're afraid of the unknown. And sometimes you just got to go out there.
Mm-hmm.
You got to go ahead and you got to pull the trigger. I tell people all the time, you got to pull the trigger if you want to be successful, and you want to, you really want to accomplish your goals. You got to do that.
And so I've heard that, the current market is a good market to, I guess, get a property, and get started with real estate investing. So is there anything that you would tell like new real estate investors to look out for, or, any tips you would give them if they're starting with their first property right now in this market?
Always do your numbers. Do your research, do your homework. Don't invest just to be investing because you see everybody else doing it. You have to do your due diligence before you get off into real estate investing. Know what's going on in the area, in the market. I go into markets where it's just cheaper to invest in. I don't invest in Atlanta. I invest in markets that are way cheaper. That way, I'm not over leveraged on my properties, or not worried about if somebody's gonna pay the mortgage. So I tell people, you have to do your due diligence and understand what you're getting yourself into.
And so what do you feel like is next for you now that you've accomplished, so many great things? Like, what is on the horizon for you, or what do you foresee like yourself achieving next?
Well, I continue. I work with my head down. So a lot of things just kind of taking off real fast, and um, I'm not looking for any accolades or anything like that. I'm just working. I just continue to do what I do. I love what I do. So I think when you love what you do and you continue to work, you know, you get a little luck that come along with that as well. So
Right. Just taking the action. So it's like, I think the momentum of doing things that you enjoy doing are definitely going to kind of bring, like you said, some luck into place so things continue to work out indeed. And switching gears a little bit, one thing I like to touch on with anybody I interview is like mental health and spirituality, because I feel like that's often a big part of success is either having a strong spiritual foundation or having like some self-care practices. So can you talk about like that more personal side of your success?
Absolutely. I'm a man of God. I believe. I'm a believer. I have faith, and I one of the things is like, you know, my mental is important as well. So I have to take breaks. I believe in taking breaks. I believe in taking those mental reset breaks. You need those. I'm going on vacation next week. You know, I need that. You know, you got to have peace within yourself. You know, how can you go out and how can you inspire other people? How can you motivate other people? How can you continue to keep this up? You know, if you're not right within yourself, you know.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So you take your breaks, you take your vacations, you're a man of God, and all of those things kind of work together for you to have a sense of peace so that you can stay focused on all these properties.
All these properties, the barbershop, and trying to help other people at the same time, you know. So I have other projects that I'm working on with other people, helping them get into investment properties, you know, maybe their first time. And I show people an affordable way to invest.
Mm-hmm. So when you say affordable way, if someone's interested, like what amount should they have to even consider real estate investing? Like, is there a baseline you would say at least have this liquid money so that, you know?
Well, again, that depends as well. It depends on if you know, what market do you want to go in? Do you want to go into the Atlanta market or do you want to go out of state? You know, so that depends as well. I try to encourage people to go outside of their market because it's way cheaper outside of your market.
Mm-hmm.
And that way you can also develop that passive income. So I try to attack those areas where the market is just, you know, way better for as passive income and not being over leveraged as well. So that's one of my strategies that I try to follow. So
Mm-hmm.
I really focus on like distressed properties.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my real thing. So I go into these areas where they're undervalued. The banks won't lend to these areas, and those are the areas I normally focus on.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and that's how you can get into those homes at a more affordable rate.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So how would people contact you if they like want a little more one-on-one coaching or advice with getting into real estate? How do they connect with you online?
Okay, so they can. I have all my social media handles Beyond the Clippers. Also, my website beyondtheclippers.com. They can go there. All of my services are listed. If you need me for any one-on-one coaching, they can reach out to me there.
Fantastic, fantastic. So if there's any, I guess, you know, closing words that you might want to give to a viewer that, you know, they've always wanted to do it, but they just feel discouraged because it feels like a huge undertaking, or, you know, they feel like they don't have the money, or they, you know, still don't know where to start. You know, what would be like your encouraging words to that entrepreneur?
Well, I always encourage people to put yourself around quality people. You know, you have to put yourself, because you can learn from these people. It's hard to learn from people that are not growing or Debbie Downers, and you know, people like that. You can't be around those type of people. I tell people all the time, if you have 9 broke friends, you are guaranteed to be number 10.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. They say that your network equals your net worth. And
Absolutely.
so, yeah, I think it is good to get around the people that you admire, or the, you know, the networks that you admire. Are there any like men's organizations that you're a part of at all specifically, or?
I'm currently not a part of any really organizations. I mean, I am a, you know, Kappa Alpha Psi, member of Kappa Alpha Psi, but I'm not, you know, presently actively working in any organizations at the moment.
Gotcha. But that can you speak to the importance of like fraternity and brotherhood? Because I know that a lot of men pursue that in college, and it does carry with them, you know, throughout their journey.
Yeah, it's a good network. it's a good network, and plus I like here in Atlanta, there's a lot of men of Kappa Alpha Psi here in the city, so it's just all over. You bump into men in the brotherhood all the time, and they willing to extend a hand, and it's like I know this brother over here doing this, and so it's a good network. Very good
Fantastic.
network.
Well, thank you for hopping on to chat with me. I think it's important for any viewer that when you do achieve success, that you do share your tips, like Morris is doing with us, and create, mentorships or consultations where you can encourage other people to get into your industry and lend them a hand and kind of, usher them in the door, because I know that you probably learned a lot of shortcuts through your journey. And so when people work with you, you're able to give them those shortcuts. So I think that, in the Black community, period, that we need to constantly be working to, share that information and bring the next brother or the next sister forward with us. So congratulations on doing that and having the platform Beyond the Clippers to, share that part of your life with people so that they don't just see the suit, but they know that behind the suit, you're putting in work and, you're getting it done, and you can help them do the same.
Actually, to be honest with you, I'm not a suit and tie type of guy.
Oh, you just got it on today.
Yeah, I got it on for you. But yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, I really appreciate you for bringing me on to your platform and introducing me to your guests. I'm very thankful for that as well. So hopefully we can do some stuff in the future.
Yeah.
Don't let it just be right here.
Absolutely. And you won't have to wear a suit if we do anything else. Black people, be casual.
No, that's okay. I can switch it up. I can do it all. So
cool beans. Well, thanks again, Morris. And to the viewers, that are looking, definitely please follow him on social platforms Beyond the Clippers. Please follow Black Men Succeed on Instagram, and also visit the website blackmensucceed.com to check out other interviews with dynamic Black men around the globe. Again, the purpose of this platform is just to contribute to the narrative that Black men are intelligent, ambitious, they're serving the community, and we just want to see our men of color in a good light. And so I'm excited to continue bringing these dynamic individuals. So thanks for tuning in.